This thing on? I think it is. The Awkward Genius Podcast. Welcome back to another edition of the Awkward Genius Podcast. The podcast where I go through my whole day and everything's fine. And as soon as I start talking on the podcast, I start coughing up a storm. Looks like I'm not used to talking to people, and that is why I'm doing the Awkward Genius Podcast. As ever, I apologize to anyone who has wandered into this podcast because this is not going to be interesting or stimulating or intellectually rewarding in any way whatsoever. I wanted to say manner, in any manner whatsoever. Not whichsoever, but whatsoever. So now that we've got all that out of the way, I want to say Merry Christmas. This is the Christmas edition, 2023, and I am out for a walk with my dog. See, I just kind of slide in a little bit of an accent there, my dog. And this is one of the most beautiful days we've had in, I was going to say weeks, but in months actually. And it is Christmas Day. So I'm sitting out here in the sunshine. I actually don't need that. I overdressed, definitely. And I'm holding the camera up so that I look more impressive. Dun, 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 dun. And mostly so you can see the view. But that's going to start to be a little bit hard on the old arms. Eventually I will just hold that there. And today I just wanted to talk about the fact that this podcast is what I look for every time I turn on shorts or is someone coming? No. or videos, which I think I'm the only one, and so I don't expect this to ever be popular or make me fabulously wealthy. But I am seeing that YouTube is so overpopulated with kind of fakeness and polish, and like the guy giving life advice has to be a bearded cowboy in front of a rock cliff, or sitting on a rocking chair in the corner of a barn with hay on the floor. It's all a bit much. I mean, I understand that those are the guys that rise to the top and get more attention because they fit the platonic ideal of advice giving older man that everybody's interested in. But and also I understand we don't like to look at people that are hideous or listen to people who don't know how to talk. I guess we think our time is certainly valuable, which would be an understatement. But what I am always kind of looking for when I turn on the old YouTube machine, especially shorts, it's amazing how many of them are clips from sports or movies or something professional, and almost none of it is just normal people talking to camera about just normal things. I have not found much of that in the long form, but I know there's a lot more that exists. It's basically what we'd call the lower end, and that is where I swim, baby, in the shallow end. So that's the point of what we're doing here, along with, as I've said before, my proclivity to try and learn to speak to camera, get just as comfortable as possible with it, so that it may bear some fruit in my longer form videos. I just put up one yesterday, the day before yesterday, and it popped off. Did great, 500 views. It was the 7 things you can do right now to feel a little bit better. I am actively doing one of those things right this second, which is going for a walk and getting some sunshine, oxygen, vitamin D, get your blood pumping. Keep looking up there to see if anyone's coming down the trail, because I also keep looking up there. My dog. I see Lampshade. I know a lot of people come just to see Lampshade. Lampshade? Oslo. He is looking at something down there. Something's got his attention. There he is. That is one good looking dog. It's right in the sun, so I'm not sure you saw anything, but that's how that's gonna go. I think we're during lunchtime, which is from noon till 2 o'clock in France, and not much happens. Things slow down. So right after lunchtime, we'll start to have the walkers coming out, especially on a Christmas day like this. But it's interesting, between noon and 2, if there's some supermarkets, some of the bigger chain stores are open, bakeries are open, and a lot of times, like if you know there's going to be a rush, like before Christmas, if you go between noon and 2, and I did that yesterday, the day before, when I had to go to a supermarket down in the valley where there should have been a lot of people, and I just walked up to the seafood aisle, asked them for my 2 lobsters. I was like second in line, barely had to wait, and so we're gonna be having lobster for Christmas lunch, and then steaks on top of that. I was able to go to the butcher today. Poor guy was open Christmas morning for some reason, which is sacrosanct. No, it's the opposite. It's sacrilege in France to be open on a bank holiday day. But the butcher, especially because the French are so food centered, any holiday becomes an incredibly important food thing, and that's when people who don't normally go to the butcher are getting all the specialty platters and all the stuff from them. So I think they make about a month's salary in a week, so they're open every day of the week this week, because not only do the French do a big meal on Christmas, they do another big feast on New Year's. And that just made me think of something. I'm going to be doing a lot of etymology, because the French-English thing always kind of fascinates me. Told you yesterday about how barber comes from the French word barbe, which is this thing. So the barber used to be, or the idea of at least the word of the barber is the guy who cuts your beard, which gives you shave. He turned into the haircut guy. So we're talking about feast, and that reminded me that in French, the word for holidays is fête, and I would not be surprised if fête turned into feast, or feast turned into fête, because the French, when they do a holiday party, it's food. It's the feast more than a holiday or a party, or holiday just means feast. It's kind of like in India where dal, which I believe is rice, just is also a word for food, because people eat it every day, or dal bhat. I think it's dal. That reminds me, I should make some dal bhat one of these days. Not only is it surprisingly tasty for what it is, how simple it is, but it's something that you can put a whole crap load of hot sauce in. If you think it's a little bit bland, you just make it, fiery hot. And because I do live in France, and the one thing they do not do is spicy food, I actually like to cook a lot of spicy food for myself when I'm cooking for myself. So I believe I've touched on all the topics I wanted to touch on today. It is Christmas Day. Being a divorced father, I am in second place this year, and so I'm getting the children this afternoon. Actually rather late. It'll be dark because it's winter and it gets dark at 1:30 in the afternoon. And so what I do is I get a bonfire going in the yard, and when the boys show up, we break out the fixins and we roast chestnuts on I was going to say marshmallows. That's probably what we should do. They'd probably appreciate that more. But we do roast chestnuts out on the pit fire that I've got in the yard. Especially on a nice day like this. It'll be a nice evening as well. It won't be that cold. We've done it in the snow and the rain. Haven't had pouring rain on a Christmas night yet, so it's always gone quite well. And then we'll go in and start our own feast, and start snacking and chatting. We get to hear about their first Christmas, and we'll just hang out around the table. I will probably down close to a bottle of wine slowly over the course of the evening, because there are activities that just keep going and going. As many of you know, Christmas Eve for parents is a busy time. With all that said, I hope that you are having a fantastic Christmas, surrounded by family, in good health, and just thinking about the world you're in, and how you fit into it, and especially on this day, taking a break from all that, and just really focusing around what is in the room with you. If you can just focus your mind on just what is literally in the same room as you are. Hopefully that's family, maybe that's a Christmas tree, you've got 4 walls or maybe more. Just stay in that little bubble just for today and enjoy it. I think that's all I got for you. I'm going to wish you a Merry Christmas. You should go now.